This is why I don't like to fly. Uh, Actually, I have been flying a couple of times. Those were short flights, 1 hour flights, and I was scared from takeoff to touchdown to the landing and the whole flight. So I am terrified about flying. Although I like airplanes, I like to read about airplanes and play flight simulations and those type of computer games. I like aircrafts, but I don't like to sit in them. So, is it a disadvantage to be afraid of flying? Of course it is, because flying is a very convenient way of transport. The quickest way to reach your point of destination. If you can't fly, you have to either go by ferry, car, bus, train, and I would say that a 2 hour flight is equivalent to a 26 hours on a train. And also, it is cheap to fly compared to a train ticket, long distance train ticket or bus ticket for that instance. So, and most people, they don't have the time to sit 26 hours on a train, so they have to fly. So the question is, why? Why am I afraid of flying? Yes, because I don't like to be trapped in a metal cylinder 20,000 feet up in the sky. So I'm trapped in that metal tube and I can't get out for a couple of hours. I don't like that. And, accidents happen. That's the main reason. Accidents happen. Well, someone says, come on, it's so rare. They almost never happen. But that means they could happen. See? Even if they almost never happen, because they happen. Still they happen. You don't know when. And due to the high altitude, there's a high pressure in the cabin. So that gives your heart a hard time. Makes it difficult for your heart to pump the blood around in your body, especially on long haul flights, long distance flights. That could result in that your feet gets swollen. I will probably stay on the ground. I would not fly. If I was forced to fly, I would probably fly, but I wouldn't enjoy my flight. And I mean, some people may say, "Hey, why don't you fly? Why are you afraid of flying? You have to see a psychiatrist. You are the problem." And the psychiatrist says that, relax, take it easy. You don't have to be afraid. You just enter the airplane and you relax, look out of the window, and you fly, no problem. That doesn't help because even if I'm relaxed, if I'm calm, the plane could get in trouble anyway. An accident could happen even if the person is not afraid of flying, you see. So that's no good. Stay on the ground and everything will be fine. And the worst fear if the airplane is flying over water. If the plane is flying over the ground, you always know it can do a emergency landing and you will get down safely. But if it's flying over the ocean and this plane suddenly malfunctions, there's nowhere to land except on the sea, on the water. And a plane is not a boat, so if it lands on the water, that means it's going to crash. No way you can survive that. Airplane crashing on water. So if I have to fly, it has to be over the ground. If you go by train and the train malfunctions, the thing that happens is that the train stops. If the bus malfunctions, it stops, and if the ferry malfunctions, it stops. Out on the sea. But if the aircraft malfunctions and stops. The engines go out. Could be some error within the computer systems, because most modern airplanes, they are computerized. So the computers take care of almost everything aboard the airplane. There's lots of cables inside the plane. Actually, I read about this in the newspaper. It was an airplane, and a passenger aboard the airplane saw a tiny little mouse somewhere. So if they had to stop that airplane, they couldn't let it take off. They had to find the mouse. So they searched the whole aircraft for the mouse. Finally found it. It could have made serious damage to the cables aboard the plane, so the plane could take off. And also there's the sensors. The latest famous incident that took place was the Air France flight 447 in 2009. So the plane, state-of-the-art modern aircraft built by Airbus, heading out in the Atlantic, leaving Brazil for Paris in the middle of the night. The sensors, the so-called pitot tubes, received false information because they were frozen due to very low temperatures. The pilots, they received weird information, and the autopilot turned off. So they were so confused, they did not know what happened. So the plane eventually stalled, came into a stall, and dived into the Atlantic Ocean. All people aboard perished. They died. All passengers, about 300 people. And I mean, it was a shock to the aviation industry. As such a modern airplane, how could it malfunction like that? So I think about that particular incident. That must have been a terrible situation to sit in that plane, and it was literally falling from the sky at a very high speed, hitting the water. Nightmarish. And even if those passengers took courses, paid visits to psychiatrists or psychologists, I mean, not psychiatrists, that would not have helped them in that situation, because you cannot control the aircraft. You are helpless. You can stay calm when you die, or you can be terrified when you die. It's up to you.